Hello guys and welcome to Watching Time. Today we're going to quickly, as my intention is not to have a very long video about this topic, discuss about the new release by Tudor. So Tudor just announced on the 8th that they will be releasing, not to my surprise as it was something inspired on the Groenland expedition, a new Ranger. So as you probably know, the Ranger was out of their catalogs a couple of years ago. It was a pity. I was lucky enough to get one of the Rangers heritage models that they produce when I had the opportunity, and the price already at the time was a good price for a tool watch. Definitely, even if it has its own history, it is very much an homage, let's say, of the Explorer from Rolex. But these are twin brother brands. They tend to do things that are similar and tend to participate in some cases, especially during the 50s and 60s, to let's say, royalty related things like the Queen's expedition to Greenland or the Everest in the case of Rolex, supporting obviously with their watches and timekeeping. Not by chance, Tudor is also the name of one of the biggest families in terms of the feudal medieval ownership and kings of England in the past. So anyway, when they had the release of the Ranger and this heritage line, I think it was really quite interesting because compared to the 39mm Rolex Explorer, it gave you a 41mm case, so a little bit bigger. It definitely had some interesting approaches in terms of construction, simplicity. It came with a band strap, a NATO strap. You had several options, and particularly this NATO camouflage strap, the one that comes with the Tudor Ranger, I think is probably one of the best NATO straps Tudor have actually done. The reason for that is usually their NATO straps are very well constructed and very good. The process that takes to construct one of these, it's very traditional and it takes a little bit of time. This in particular, being camouflage and having all these little very nice touches, as you see, it's not printed, it's actually the texture of the filaments that they are using in order to weave it in a camouflage pattern. It makes it actually thicker than the usual traditional NATO strap, but also it makes you feel much better. So probably, as I was saying, one of my favorites Tudor watches in the family of the brand, and I was really sad when they just took it out. Is it 41mm for this watch a good measurement? Well, I have an 18 centimeters wrist, and as you can see, it's going to wear on the higher end, especially because it has a very thin bezel. It is slightly polished on the border, and you have very straight forward locks. So yeah, it will wear a little bit bigger on your wrist, and most people were not inclined to buy it because of that. But at the same time, it's an excellent visibility dial, an excellent watch to use on everyday adventures. I really like it. Some people don't like the arrow, but it's really related to the history behind this watch. So pretty much overall, probably one of the nicest pieces that I have on the collection from Tudor. I'm really glad that I have it. It is an ETA based movement, so nothing fancy there, but it's a very reliable watch. So now they're bringing it back, and I saw it the other day. I will probably put a picture here on the model. I didn't took as much time as I wanted to review the watch, but my first impressions were really positive. It is bringing this back to the 39mm, so it's going to be comparable inside, let's say, to the Explorer here. It has a very explorerish vibe. The bracelet is pristine. It wears like an oyster, and it has a closure that it's at the level of a submariner. The quality overall of the strap is superb. The case, they have increased the size of the bezel. It has become more kind of similar, let's say, to the Rolex Explorer, but actually more similar to one of its predecessor, one of the first 3, 6, 9, and 12 Rangers that were produced. They took out the rose. I really love the rose from Tudor. It gives you really that heritage, vintage style. So they took that out for the shield. They took out the self-winding, smiling text and the rotor. That's a pity, but I think it's a package that might work. So what do you think, guys? Should I be getting that also into my collection and having the three of them? There are similar watches, yes, of course, but they're telling a history and a story that it's different between them. So what are your thoughts? Let me know, and maybe I will catch up very soon with the new watch in the collection. Who knows? Until then, take care.